What can investigators learn from this woman, Stephen Paddock's so-called girlfriend, former FBI New York Assistant Director Bill Gavin, former U.S. Marine and Intel Analyst Bill Staniford, I should say. Bill, what is your sense of what we could learn here? More to the point, this money wire, of which she was presumably the beneficiary, totaling better than $100,000. We don't know the duration or the period of time that covers, but clearly it was all going to the Philippines. We're meant to believe all to her. But what do we look for here?
So,
Neil, there's just a whole...
I'm sorry, Bill Gavin, to you first. I apologize.
Neil, there is a whole plethora of avenues into to Mary Lou Dineley as to questions they want to ask her. But I agree with you. One of the most troubling aspects of this is that $100,000 that has been sent to the Philippines to her. What was that money for? When was it sent? When was she told to go? Was she told to go, or did she go on her own? And Neil, we can learn so much. We all know that living with anybody for a limited amount of time and great amount of time, as apparently they have, you know some intimate things that are only going to come out through that other person. What did he say in the phone? Who were his friends? Did he stockpile all his weapons in the home, or did he have some sort of a storage facility for it? Did he tell her anything that he was going to do? Did he have psychotic problems prior to this whole thing that he sent her away? There are so many things, and I'm sure that the Bureau and law enforcement authorities have at this particular time drafted all these kinds of questions, and that really profilers have looked at what has been done and designed some questions also to ask Ms. Danley.
All right, Bill Staniford. Again, Bill, I apologize for that confusion. No. But the one thing I guess to look into is all this weapons cache he developed. It's better than 24 weapons at the hotel room. At least that spread among his two other homes, at least two other homes, including the condo he shared with her in Mesquite. But the question that comes up is she would certainly be noticing him piling up these weapons, right?
Yes, Neil. Listen, I think the most interesting thing to me about this is what has NSA collected here. And, you know, since 9/11, the rules have basically been changed about the collection of information from signals intelligence. And so I think there's an opportunity now for the authorities to go back and sort of recover all of the conversations that have been had. And I'm very interested to see how that is going to be used going forward. But, you know, I have full faith and confidence that we're going to be able to get to the bottom of this.
Oh, I have no doubt about that. I agree with you. Bill Gavin, one of the things I do want to ask you about, though, is you hear from this woman's family that they were getting a little increasingly uneasy about Paddock and his actions and his demeanor. Of course, there's no way to telegraph that or say, all right, this guy's going to kill people, but that they were getting uneasy. I guess they checked with her as a person of interest, at the very least, whether that was something she was noticing as well, right?
That's a strong possibility, Neil, and also the fact that allegedly he was given a medication for anxiety in the recent past.
Right.
She would probably know when he went to the doctor, or if he did go to the doctor, or what was concerning him. I'll tell you still, Neil, the $100,000 to someplace like Manila in the Philippines, you and I both know full well the terrorist activities that have occurred there. That still needs to be straightened out in my mind.
Yeah, by the way, you're right about we don't know if that was all to her. You're quite right to point that out, and that is a hotbed for that kind of activity.
It is.